Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to be talking about the new Xbox Ally devices. There are two of them in particular that we're going to be talking about, I'm pretty sure. This is going to be on The Verge today. This is written by Tom Warren. Thank you for the article. It'll be linked down in the description if you'd like to check it out for yourself. So the title goes, this is how Microsoft is combining Windows and Xbox for handheld PCs. Two new Xbox Ally devices introduce Microsoft's much needed improvements to handheld gaming PCs. Now, I haven't read the entire article. I did skim through it a little bit, but even without that, I'm pretty sure this is Microsoft's answer to the Valve Steam Deck, but not necessarily the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck is a small part of it, but it's mostly the Steam OS, because the Steam OS has just been proven to be better at the handheld gaming and handheld PCs more than Windows 11. It is by far better than it in pretty much every category. There's been a lot of tests I've seen on YouTube and stuff, and the Steam OS is just better suited for mobile PCs and handheld PC devices. And I feel like Microsoft is starting to get worried about that. There was rumors of like a full-on Xbox handheld, but it looks like instead of doing that, this is what they're doing, because I'm pretty sure, at least from the sources that I've seen on other websites and stuff like that, and on Twitter and stuff, that it's pretty much canceled or at least put on the shelf for this instead, because they want to put more resources into Windows 11 instead of the Microsoft handheld, which I kind of agree with. Just before we get deeper into the article, I'd like to remind everyone, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it if you do. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. Once we do, I'll be doing a Q&A video. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe. Microsoft and Asus have just announced two ROG Xbox Ally devices that includes a new full-screen Xbox experience for handhelds, after promising to combine the best of the Xbox and Windows together. For handhelds earlier this year, Microsoft is now revealing exactly how it is overhauling the Xbox app, game bar, and Windows itself to better compete with SteamOS. Yeah, because SteamOS is starting to take over, especially in the mobile PC market. And honestly, SteamOS is just better than Windows when it comes to that. It runs better, it performs better, everything is better. So it makes sense that Xbox kind of needs to reaffirm its grip on that market, because it kind of was pretty dominant. But the problem is it's dominant in desktop PCs, but for the new market of handheld PCs, it is not doing well. And if SteamOS is better, then maybe people start using that on the, like, it's almost like a snowball effect. Like maybe then because it's better on handheld PCs, they'll start getting put on laptops. And if it gets better on laptops, then it'll maybe get put, well, actually first it'd probably go to tablets and then laptops and then desktops. So like it's a slippery slope. I don't think it'd ever go onto mobile devices like phones, because Android dominates that. And I don't know if you're ever going to really beat that. Microsoft has needed to respond to SteamOS ever since the Steam Deck launched 3 years ago, and has steadily been tweaking its Xbox app and Xbox game bar on Windows to make both more handheld friendly. But there was always a bigger overhaul of Windows required, and we're starting to see parts of that today. The reality is that we've made tremendous progress over the last couple years, and this is really the device that galvanized those teams and got everyone marching and working towards a moment that just really excited to put into the hands of players, says Roassone's corporate vice president of gaming devices and ecosystem at Xbox in the briefing with The Verge. And that is the Xbox Ally X. Honestly, from what I saw from the presentation that I watched, it does look pretty good. The problem is going to be the performance during gameplay is the big one, and we'll see how that goes. Microsoft demonstrated this handheld friendly combination of Windows and Xbox to The Verge in its briefing earlier this week, but it has a virtual demo, so we haven't been able to try it fully yet. Okay, so these people have tried it, but it was a demo. It all starts by booting directly into the new Xbox full screen experience on these ORG Xbox Ally devices that focus on the Xbox app and game bar, alongside being launched for all your PC games. Yes, even Steam ones. Alongside being a launcher, for all your PC games. So it's another launcher. I don't like that. That's kind of annoying if it's another launcher. Even if you launch a Steam game and it launches that's going to be annoying. That's not a good sign in my opinion. We're able to take people who have been working on the Xbox OS for 20 years or more and have them work directly on the Windows code base and start reimagining what the operating system looks like for this form factor, explains Jason Beaumont, vice president of the experiences at Xbox. These two things combined led us to build a bunch of features. Okay, I understand what they mean by that, but launching a launcher again is not a good thing. If Steam launches a game, you don't want it to launch another launcher. It's why people don't play Ubisoft and EA games. It's super annoying. The Xbox full screen experience is very much the compact mode of the Xbox app, taking full control of the ROG Xbox Ally devices instead of the familiar Windows desktop and taskbar. When the player boots into the full screen experience, there's a whole bunch of Windows stuff that doesn't get loaded, says Beaumont. We're not loading the desktop wallpaper, the taskbar, or a bunch of processes that are really designed around productivity scenarios for Windows. That makes sense. It's probably one of the reasons why SteamOS is so good for handhelds, because it knows exactly what the person wants. Most people who run these things don't actually want, like, it's a handheld gaming system. That's what it really is. It's not a desktop PC. Its primary use is gaming. You're not really browsing the web or doing other things on this. This is a full screen image of it. Okay, cool. I mean, it does look pretty good. And I do know like the Silk Song game icon being there because it's going to be day one on there too, playable from what I know. You can still exit this full screen mode and launch the full version of Windows Desktop. Okay, that's good. But by default, it will be hidden away. That's nice. So if people want to do that, they can. We've reduced many notifications and pop-ups and will continue to listen to feedback from players to make continued improvements, says Sones. The Xbox app itself in full screen mode looks very similar to what exists on Windows right now, except the library is now full of all your PC games from Steam and other stores. Okay, interesting. Alongside ones from Xbox Play, Anywhere, and Game Pass. So that means it can see your Steam library and can show those games there. Interesting. So you're not actually launching the game from Steam, you're launching the game from the Xbox app. Interesting. Okay. Where it really gets interesting is the game bar. We've made improvements to the game bar over the last year, and really it was driving towards this experience, says Brianna Potivin, principal software engineering lead at Xbox. A short press on the Xbox button on all Xbox Ally devices brings up the game bar interface, and you can use this to access device settings like Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, ASUS Command Center interface, and even Microsoft's new Gaming Copilot. I don't like Gaming Copilot. It's stupid AI stuff. If you long press the Xbox button, you'll even get a more handheld-friendly task switcher, which lets you alt-tab between apps and games using the controller. Okay, that's nice. This is the new library system, and this is the game bar. Okay. I'll need to try this new interface fully to really get a feel for the Windows changes here. Yeah, that's the problem with something like this. You really need to get it in your hands to try it. But Microsoft is promising that this isn't just lipstick on top of Windows. This isn't server level changes. We've made significant improvements, says Potivin. Some of our early testing with components we've turned off in Windows. We'll get about 2 gigabytes of memory going back to the games while running in full screen experience. Well, that's good. That's a good step to improve the performance of Windows on handhelds, but one of the big pieces of feedback around the handheld experience is the sleep situation where Windows-powered devices draw far too much battery life when they're idle. That makes sense, because it's still running a lot of things in the background when it's idle for Windows. If you're booting your device into the full screen experience and you're putting it down and it goes to sleep, it draws 1/3 of the idle power draw that it would if it was booting the same device into Windows desktop experience, claims Potivin. Microsoft is still focused on battery life and power efficiency for the full screen mode, so we might even see further improvements before devices ship later this year. Microsoft has made improvements to the Windows lock screen, so you can now use a controller to log in using your PIN code, that's nice, or navigate around in this part of Windows. Right, because these things aren't touchscreen, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, you have to use the controls. So this is the alt-tabbing feature, where it has Discord, Xbox, and something else it looks like. Don't know what that is. This updated Xbox app will now work as launcher for all your PC games, but you'll still be able to interact with your Windows apps, those other launchers freely in this full screen handled experience. So it says Microsoft is working closely with leading storefronts to have them optimize their full screen experience to make them easier for everyone to play full library of PC games like Steam, Epic Games, and elsewhere. Well, that's nice. I mean, to be fair, if people buy this thing and they're still buying games from Steam, like, it's still a win for Xbox and Microsoft, because then they're on a Windows system instead of the SteamOS, which is what they want. They want people on Windows. The aggregated gaming library with an Xbox on PC will be available for all Windows 11 devices, says Sones, so you'll soon be able to see all of your Steam games within the Xbox app on any PC. That's nice. That's nice. Though I don't know if that many people will use it, because that means they'd have to get the Xbox app, and most people are against using the Xbox app. Because to be fair, for a very long time, I would say probably years at this point, the Xbox app has had a terrible, terrible reputation in the PC community. And I mean, this is a good steps towards, like, it's made good steps towards improving the image, and definitely Xbox Game Pass for PC has definitely improved that, and the app itself is better. I use it nowadays with Xbox Game Pass, and it is pretty good, but it still be kind of annoying. Like, there is still a lot of weird notifications that you get that I don't know why it has it enabled. It's really weird. Microsoft is also creating its own versions of Valve's Steam Deck verified program, allowing you to see what games are optimized for handhelds like the Xbox Ally and Xbox Ally X. You'll be able to access your full Xbox console libraries on handhelds thanks to either the Xbox Cloud Gaming or remote play from an Xbox console. Interesting, but most console games won't play natively unless there's a PC version or they're part of Xbox Play Anywhere. Okay, so their cloud gaming service is available with these, which is nice. That's also probably because they canceled their full-on Xbox, mobile Xbox platform, because they're basically making a Switch too, from what I can tell, but Xbox, and I don't know if you want to fight Nintendo with this, because you're not really fighting Nintendo with a mobile PC. You're not in the same market, honestly. I wouldn't consider it the same market. The person that's buying the Steam Deck is not generally the same customer that's going for Nintendo games. And now, obviously, there is overlap, but I'm saying, like, the fundamental customer you're looking for, it's a different type of customer. The best parts of all these Windows changes is that you won't necessarily need a new device to benefit from them. Xbox full screen experience will first come to ROG Xbox Ally and the ROG Xbox Ally X, and our next focus will be updating the in-market ROG Ally and ROG Ally X, says Sones. Similarly, full screen Xbox experience will be rolling out on other Windows handhelds starting next year. Yeah, I was about to say, and what they also need to do is get these on other systems to fight SteamOS, because some other SteamOS stuff is like it's supported. Like, it's just about to say it actually. Valve is also supporting SteamOS on the ROG Ally, so we should be able to compare Valve and Microsoft's handheld operating systems on the same hardware soon. We don't yet know if Microsoft has done enough to stop other PC makers from being tempted over to SteamOS like Lanvos has, but Microsoft efforts have been really settling up a battle between Windows and Linux for the future of handheld gaming PCs. And that's the bigger story here, is that Microsoft saw that in the gaming PC, in the handheld gaming PC market, they were starting to lose because Windows 11 sucks on handheld PCs, on mobile PCs. And when I say mobile PCs, I mean the handheld PCs, because, laptops, obviously, Windows dominates. And tablets is Android, so it's different. But on handheld gaming PCs, Windows was starting to fall. And because Valve started letting people use SteamOS for other handheld gaming PCs, and from everyone that talks about the Steam Deck and other things like it, SteamOS was just better in every way. So I'm glad that Microsoft is coming here and actually trying to put competition, because it's just better for us and overall. It doesn't, if both of them are great products and they just try to outdo each other, that's great. Obviously, Valve doesn't have Microsoft money, but it's not like Valve is poor. So I do think they can be a competitive rivalry for this in the handheld gaming PC market. So it'll be interesting to see how this really goes. And I can't wait to see when they directly compare them, because before there has been direct comparisons from Windows 11 on handheld gaming PCs and SteamOS, and SteamOS won so hard. The games that were running, they were running 30 to sometimes I feel 60 FPS more on SteamOS than the Windows 11 games on the same hardware. So I hope that this new Xbox full screen experience is at least competition, so then SteamOS can do more cool things. But here's the hope. I always love good competition, so it'll be good to see how this goes. Thank you everyone for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. If you'd like to check out other videos, I really appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you dislike it. I understand. You just heard my opinion. I'd love to hear your opinion on this in the comments down below. If you're interested in handheld gaming PCs, if this is totally out of your wheelhouse, I totally understand it. I personally don't own one, but I'm really curious about them because, I will want one eventually, probably. So it'll just be interesting to see how far they really go with this. If you'd like to follow me on other platforms, I've Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Threads. Thank you everyone for watching today's video, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.